this story is about XRP. The most important one is Ripple. The court ruling in Ripple versus SEC has been pushed back again, but don't worry, there's still a lot to figure out. Experts are sure that this delay won't stop the price of XRP from hitting all-time highs. People think that the XRP Ripple coin could reach $37,500, 0 cents. That sounds crazy, but how is that even possible? Watch this movie to learn everything. Let's take it one step at a time. Ripple Labs and the SEC's court case has taken an unexpected new turn. This could be the beginning of the end for a case that has shaped the current debate about how to regulate crypto. People in the digital asset space are talking about how Ripple and the SEC asked the Second Circuit to hear their case and the Court of Appeals to end the appeals process in a report that was sent to both of them. Not only is this a delay, but both sides are also looking for what's called an indicative ruling. This is a way for the district court to show how it would rule on a motion if the case goes back to the lower court from the appeal. In this case, Ripple has made a motion that could drastically change the course of the lawsuit. The motion is likely about the remedies phase, which decides on penalties and injunctions for institutional XRP sales. There is a lot of talk in the crypto world about the joint request. Some people think it means that talks are still going on. There is more and more talk of a settlement. The XRP architects said on X that the SEC and Ripple had just made a joint status report asking for the appeals process to be put on hold. They are waiting for the district court to rule on an important move which could end their long court case over XRP. This would be a win for making crypto clear. Are we about to see a major plot twist? Asked John Squire. The SEC agreed to delay its own appeal, which is not something it usually does. This suggests that it knows Judge Torres' decision could have a big effect on its case. This pause doesn't mean that both sides are letting up, but we need to see more court decisions before we spend more time and money on appeals. This case in July 2023 caused big changes in how U.S. courts and politicians dealt with digital assets. A split decision by Judge Torres set a new standard. Automated sales of XRP on exchanges were not securities transactions, but sales by institutions were. This small but important win for the crypto business has been used as a model for future cases. As XRP Avengers wrote, "Never forget, XRP is not a stock." Many people in the community still believe that, seeing the judge's decision as proof that XRP is a digital currency and not an unregistered investment. However, the battle isn't over yet. It's very important that the remedies part is looked at carefully because it will determine whether Ripple has to pay fines or have its operations limited because of how it sold things in the past. If Judge Torres makes a favorable indicative decision, this means she might limit or throw out some of the SEC's requested penalties. If the decision goes in favor of the SEC might have to go back to the negotiating table. On the other hand, the case could start up again with full force, with the appeal brought up again, and a long courtroom fight that lasts until 2026. Not only are the specifics of the process important at this point, but so is the bigger picture for the crypto market as a whole. The next important date is August 15th, when the next joint status report is due. A lot will depend on what Judge Torres says between now and then. The stakes could not be higher for Ripple or for the future of regulating cryptocurrencies in the US. If things go well for Ripple, it could give other crypto projects the power to fight back against enforcement steps and ask for changes to the way regulations work. If they lose, on the other hand, the SEC might feel free to go after similar cases with even more force, which would slow down innovation even more. The court is where everyone is looking right now. Things are about to get really interesting in the US. Even though the court case is going on behind the scenes, people who believe in XRP aren't giving up. In fact, the smartest and most experienced analysts are more hopeful than ever. They don't see this legal pause as a setback. Instead, they see it as the calm before the storm. If what they say comes true, XRP's next move could shock the whole market. If you missed out on Bitcoin before, Edit Wone wrote XRP is the last chance. This tweet shows how quickly and strongly more and more investors believe that XRP is about to cause a big financial awakening. They might be right. The largest move in XRP's history could be about to happen if the experts and people with a lot of power who make big claims are even half right. XRP's Bollinger Bands were getting smaller, which is an old school technical sign that usually means price instability is about to explode. Steph, a famous chart watcher, joked that a huge move was loading, and others agreed. Amox, another well-known and respected person in the XRP ecosystem, said, "You are the only one who will win. People who can't wait are about to face the hardest test of their lives." But maybe the most controversial event began with a tweet by 25 Hours. They said that a Fox News reporter said that XRP would be bought back at $37,500.00 per token, starting in 48 hours. Even though there has been no public proof of this, several people are calling it a wild guess. It made people even more excited than they were before. A manager of Digital Ascension Group, Jake Claver, caused a stir when he said that XRP could and should hit $10,000.00 per coin. He added to the debate because it was needed. His reasoning is based on facts, not fiction. He used an example from Davis Swore, CTO of Ripple. If the price of XRP stays at $1.00, it will take 1 million tokens to send $1 million.00. If the price of XRP goes up, you'll need a lot fewer tokens to move the same amount of money. If XRP goes up to $10.00 a coin, you only need 100,000 coins. If it goes up to $1,000.00, you only need 1,000 tokens. Claver said that the token should cost a lot so that it can fund a lot of deals at the business level, and it can also be used as the basis for cross-border payments and global settlements. Based on his math, he said that XRP at $2.00 isn't enough because there isn't enough cash to support trillion-dollar amounts. If the price of XRP reached $10,000.00, the system could handle more than $585 trillion.00 in theoretical liquidity, which is more than enough to keep the world's financial system running. This is where things get crazy, even though Claver says that XRP is meant to reach these high prices. Some people think this is a crazy plan. To put it another way, if XRP was worth $10,000.00, it would be worth more than $500 trillion.00. That's more than all the money and assets in the world put together. Who used to be the CEO of an Australian stock company, don't believe the story at all. Carrico said it was sad that people were being told that they could get $10,000.00 worth of XRP tomorrow. He warned people not to believe what he saw as empty hype. Claver and other XRP maximalists still don't like the usual way of figuring out market cap. They say that a completely different valuation model is needed because XRP is used for transactions that provide a service, not just for speculation. They say that it's not about investors making money, but about institutions providing a service on a large scale. It's still not clear if XRP will reach its full potential.